Okay, let's start where we left off. This is for last week. For me, it's last week, and this time, I finally entered my boy's arc of drawing. And it's quite a shift from flowers to boys. So, this is the first drawing, and proportion-wise, this drawing is the closest to the reference that I've drawn. Because other drawings that I've done during this male week, men week, the boys arc, the proportions are challenging, really challenging, because I needed to adjust again after drawing flowers for the last week, last week rather. So for this one, it's quite refreshing, and I think I improved again. Especially on the shadows. Shadows is one part of improvement from the flowers week. So I'm really glad about that, and I actually decided to look at some Loomis tutorials because, well, what I've been using to draw heads is technically not a full Loomis way in a sense. So this time I decided to actually look up some tutorials for the Loomis. Now that I've got more depth perception, it makes it easier for me to draw faces now. And with less details too, because what I've seen in some drawings in Pinterest is that there's not much details going on, but it looks like the person that they are drawing from. Well, I suspected a reference because I've seen some drawing of K-pop artists in there. So what I was doing before is that I will shade it gray, leaving the eyes so that I can adjust the darkness of some parts. But when I've seen the drawing in Pinterest, well, the face is usually not shaded. There are some shaded parts, but it's not all shaded. So I stopped doing that, and now, moving on. This is quite... I've got the proportion of the next one wrong. It's this one. Okay, now on this one, I'll give you some context about this drawing. I didn't realize it until I was drawing the hair, that the reference that I'm using for the drawing is an AI image. And how do I know it's an AI image? Because in the reference, there's a hair sticking out in here. It's like a thick bundle of hair sticking out in here below the hairline. And this is what I've also came to learn about men pictures in Pinterest. Because, well, before drawing man, I used to draw females a lot. And this is the first male portrait that I've done. So, I didn't really look at men references on Pinterest. I always look for female pictures. Then when I was looking for male pictures in Pinterest, is that there's so much AI image of men in there. Like, you have to really look closely to identify which is AI, which is not. And, well, this one caught me. The proportion is wrong. I don't want to give the excuse that this drawing doesn't really matter because the reference is an AI image. Even though it's an AI image, it's, well, humanoid enough. I was always looking for real images and not AI images. So from here on out, I started to be more discerning of the pictures. Now moving on to the third drawing. It's this guy. Now I got the proportion of the face features wrong here again. But look at the folds. Like, I wasn't kidding when I said I improved on folds in the flower study. Now the pose here is that he's leaning back and while the face is tilted toward in a slight angled up direction. So as you can see, it's really rough in here in this part specifically. I'm still trying to get used to the Loomis method. Now moving on. Now the next one is decent, really decent. It's this guy. Now I'm really satisfied with how this turned out. Now the thing with the Loomis method is that I tend to make the face really square, so that it follows the guidelines, but faces have different proportions. Even though the guidelines are there are lots of faces that don't follow the proportions of the Loomis method, so you have to adjust the lengths of some measurements. And I got the folds here. This isn't supposed to be a study about folds. It's about male studies. But the folds look cool, and I'm really glad with this one. The guy looks handsome. Moving on to this guy over here. Now, when I was drawing this, there was a problem with our internet connection and I didn't really get to look at Pinterest. So I looked at some magazines in the house and I settled for this guy. Now when I took a picture of this in my phone, I edited it and I increased the contrast, which is a bad move. Because although the shadows are exaggerated, the facial features is not as detailed as it is. I didn't even notice that the guy has hairs in his forearms when I took a look at the original image that I took, and it's a new hairstyle. I was figuring out the hairstyle for this one because it's my first time drawing this hairstyle. And again with the face, I tend to make it really square because this drawing doesn't look like the guy from the reference that I used. So there's the square problem. Although there are times that instead of making it square, I sometimes adjust it to be more rectangular vertically. You can see that in the second drawing for this video that it's more vertical. Now moving on. Now this is my best one. Now this is my best one. Like, look at the folds. The folds. And the face too. The face is again more square than the actual image, but it's close. It's close. And I'm really happy with the clothes. It's also my first time drawing someone with a beard, so that's new. This one looks good overall. This one. I measured the proportion of this one better than the others. I really like this one out of all the male drawings that I've drawn this week. This one takes it. Moving on to the last one. Okay, this is the last one. I decided to draw one from imagination. Well, it's first time from imagination, and I think this goes into the category of semi-realism. So I included some folds in there, and I included a flower. The flower looks so good in here. Then a suit, because I like drawing males with suits, a polo, and the hair. I didn't look for any references for this one. What I did is, well, try to remember what I've been doing for the last week and try to incorporate it here. There are some improvements that needs to happen, especially with the facial features, the eyes, the nose, and the lips, the proportions of those. that needs some adjusting. It needs lots of adjusting. It's still rough, that's for sure, but you know, it's a work in progress. And there's still no color to it too. And hey, that's for this week's video. This is the progress that I made. And during this week of drawing meals, man, this is the week where I reached the 2 months in this art journey. And yes, it's been 2 months. For next week, it's much challenging. It's what I'm about to do. It's challenging for me. Well, every week has been a challenge for me. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Subscribe, and as always, Striker logging out.